So apparently Kendrick Perkins has some dumb stuff to say again. And friend of the show, Uncut Hoops, has something to say about it. First of all, shout out to Uncut Hoops for the 100K subscribers. That's big time right there. Links to his video will be in the description down below. LeBron superfan gets destroyed by Anthony Davis. Let's see what's going on.
When it comes to players who are underrated, undervalued, and just underappreciated in general, the first player I think of is Anthony Davis. As looking at the media, when they talk Lakers success, and their championship hopes, what do they always mention? LeBron.
No way, bro. Why LeBron gotta be in this, dog? God.
LeBron James this, LeBron James
He's
that.
in the title.
If you actually watch the Lakers play,
He's in the
pay
title.
attention to the game, Anthony Davis by far is their best player, most valuable, and impactful. If Davis plays great, it's almost a guarantee the Lakers are going to win that game. He plays bad, they have no chance. And
I would just like to argue that the only reason that's the case is because LeBron is so consistent. You can rely on him to be good and play up to his standards on a night in, night out basis. If there is one dude that's inconsistent between the two of them, not to say that AD has been inconsistent this year specifically, because AD has had a monster season. But I'm just saying, between the two of them, it is still, like, when I see a stinker from the Lakers, 9 times out of 10, it is still AD. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of unfair to LeBron.
in terms of defensive effort and offensive effort, one of the few players in the NBA who plays both ends. And looking at strictly defense, talking overall impact and value, up there with Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama.
Absolutely.
As this year was third in defensive win shares, second in defensive rebounds,
he's a monster,
fourth in blocks, 12th in defensive plus minus, 7th in block percentage, and second among centers in steals. And the icing on the cake, opponents versus Anthony Davis in the paint, non-restricted area, had a field goal percentage of 41.4% on 15 attempts. Now, seeing how great Anthony Davis has been on defense, the stats, the eye test, we all know that. But when it comes to NBA media, clutch sports, the pro LeBron media, they consistently refuse to acknowledge how good Anthony Davis is.
I did not think this was going to be that type of video, man. I thought it was, just an attack on Kendrick Perkins, but jeez.
As looking at Kendrick Perkins, who has actual votes for awards, All-NBA teams, and All-Defensive teams. This guy snubbed AD on virtually all those rankings. As looking at Perk's voting for first team All-Defense, who's the one noticeable guy not on that list?
Is All-Defense positionless this year? I know the All-NBA teams are positionless, but if it is positionless, I'll put myself in the bottom right. If All-Defense is positionless too, AD not being on the first team is crazy. Anthony Davis not being on the first team is insane, man.
Of course, Anthony Davis. Looking at All-NBA teams, he goes in first team, second team, but third team behind LeBron James. People like Kendrick Perkins.
He got Tyrese Maxey on All-NBA second? No way, dude. And shout out to Tyrese Maxey, because I'm not trying to, diss Tyrese Maxey in the season that he had. He had a phenomenal season. Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. Some of these voters, because I actually took the time and due diligence, to actually check who the voters are. At least last season. And if we look at the voters, NBA 2023 voters, if we look at, let me do all NBA voters. They actually have a list on NBA. Is it this one? 2022, 2023. It might be this one. Oh, wow. Okay. I believe, damn, I don't know who got this up, but this looks pretty elaborate. I don't know. Yeah, if you look at the voters, these are confirmed ballots. JJ Redick's on there. Stephen A. Smith is on there. Kendrick Perkins is on there. I don't know everyone else's basketball knowledge. I'll be honest. I don't know a lot of the names that I'm seeing right now. But I just don't know why Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins specifically got a vote. Outside of the fact that they're notorious. I think if there is, like, at that point, put in a Nick Wright. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. At that point, put in Paul Pierce, because at this point, we're just putting in people who got clout to vote. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, put me on there.
Team behind LeBron James. People like Kendrick, Perkins, and Shannon Sharp, Brian Windhorst. They refuse to acknowledge Anthony Davis is better than LeBron James and the most valuable player on the Lakers. And speaking for myself, I'm not some massive Anthony Davis fan. In the past, been a big critic of his game. But this year, you gotta take your hat off to him. Played 75 plus games, on both ends was effective, 25 points per game, and at worst, a top 5 defender. And despite LeBron and Anthony Davis on offense being pretty much equals, the defensive gap, defensive impact is really never acknowledged by the LeBron James media. And looking back at Kendrick Perkins, his second team All-NBA, you might have noticed Tyrese Maxey was on the second team ahead of Anthony Davis.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And look, I'm a big Maxey fan, big believer in his game. But to be second team All-NBA over Anthony Davis, I mean, bit of a stretch. He might win most improved, but second team All-NBA, just a bridge too far. Much like Davis versus LeBron.
I would even argue that Anthony Davis has a more legitimate shot at being All-NBA first team than a lot of people give him credit for. I remember the timestamp 304. If he brings up his first team, did he bring up KP's first team? Okay, he only brought up his second team. But yeah, I would argue in terms of that first team, the fact that he even got Giannis' second team is crazy. I would need to see his ballot. That first team to me is Luka, Jokic, Shea, Giannis. Those are the 4 locks. I don't know who else he got in that second team, in that first team. Like that. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. That second team is looking sus as shit because number 1, he got Giannis on there. Number 2, he got Tyrese Maxey on there. So he probably has. Because at this point, out of the 4 locks, he only got 3 of them. Because Giannis is on the second team. I'm assuming you put Jason Tatum there. I would like to see who that 5th guy is. Because it's not LeBron. It's not Anthony Edwards. Did he put like Donovan Mitchell on there? Who would he put on there? Nah, that's actually sus as shit.
LeBron. Davis versus Maxey. Offensively, I mean, give and take, who's better, it's a toss-up. But defensively, there's no debate Anthony Davis far superior. And looking at Davis' overall value to the Lakers, when he played, they were 45 and 31. AD. Now here's the kicker. The Lakers this year, with Anthony Davis minus LeBron James, have gone 5-5. Now, the inverse of that, LeBron minus AD, they're 1-4. And to kind of hammer this point home at Anthony Davis being severely underrated, undervalued, listen to this absolute tool at Fox Sports just spout nonsense about Anthony Davis.
Right. Say in my chest. Anthony Davis is the most overrated superstar in the history of the NBA.
Oh, wow.
Can't count on him. He's not money good. He's always injured. I'll use the words you guys won't. He's soft. Doesn't play through pain. And you cannot count him to be there when you need to win a game. I thought he
doesn't play through pain. If anything, that's a problem with AD is the fact that he plays through pain too much. I swear to God, like every time I see AD play, like there's always a moment in the game where like, oh, is AD good? Is he limping a little bit? And then he ends up playing the game. You know, like the soft allegations too, AD has taken the mantle as a 5 on this team. He's improved his, you know what I'm saying, inside rim presence. He has been the 5 that a lot of people have been asking him to be. So I'm assuming this was made this season. Yeah, because they're talking about the plan. AD's having his healthiest season. So why would you say that? Oh, well, he did get injured. That's why it says level of concern with Anthony Davis's injury. Exited to Sunday's game experiencing back spasm. So, okay, I get it, but
was turning the
Damn.
corner, man, because I used to call him Mr. Glass. I'm like, the wind blow too hard, something hurting all of a sudden. But I thought he turned the corner a little bit this year for a hot second, but it's back to it. If it's not his back, then
It's something. It's always something.
Or something.
And what ticked me off, and this is my own little pet peeve, it's just my own little thing, when they came out with the all 100 NBA, all 75,
75,
NBA team and put him on it, I had a problem with that.
So stopping it right there, that
Why?
Anthony Davis take, it would have been accurate and relevant around 2022. But 2 years later, that's just a stale take and just kind of recycling garbage from 18 months ago.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I agree with Uncle Hoops at this point, man. Anthony Davis, I think, will go down as one of the more underrated players in NBA history, just because number one, he spent a majority of the beginning of his career on bad teams where he wasn't able to make deep playoff runs, and then once he got to LA, and all respect to LeBron, because LeBron is fucking LeBron. His impact has been overshadowed because of the fact that he plays with LeBron James. When in actuality, ever since they have formed, ever since they have become a duo, ever since they have started playing together, there has not been a year, in my opinion, outside of 2021, where Anthony Davis has not been arguably the best player on the Los Angeles Lakers. And I also think, looking back at the draft comps when Anthony Davis was drafted in 2012, him being this generational prospect, did he become face of the league, next Tim Duncan type of dominance? Honestly, individually, pretty fucking close. And just from a statistical standpoint. But from an accolade standpoint, face of the league aura, all of that marketability, did he become that? No, he did not become that. But compared to a lot of the number one picks that have come since, or honestly in the last 15 years, not a lot of players can say that they had the hype that Anthony Davis got going into the league and actually fulfilled that hype. Yeah, if we look at these number one picks, let's cut it off at 2020, because I will say these last three, though, they look like they're about to pan out relative to their hype. If anything, honestly, these last two have been underhyped. Obviously, Vic, he's doing his job. Anthony Edwards, he's doing his job. So let's go from like 2010. John Wall, I'm on the fence about because he had a shorter career than I thought, in my opinion. He really stopped. His career, to me, virtually stopped after 2018. But if you want to say yes, go ahead. Kyrie Irving, I'll give it to him. He fulfilled that, the hype that he got. Did he ever become truly the best point guard in the league, like LeBron said after 2016? He did not become that, but for what he was supposed to be going into the league, I think he fulfilled a lot of those expectations. Anthony Davis, yes. Anthony Bennett, womp womp. Andrew Wiggins, womp womp. Karl Anthony Towns, first 3 years, yes, but womp womp overall. Ben Simmons, same thing, first 3 years, or 3-4 years, however many yes, but overall, you can pretty easily argue womp womp. Markel, womp womp. DeAndre Ayton, womp womp. And even if we go past 2010, Blake Griffin, up until 2015, 2016, actually 2017, Blake Griffin, there was a point in time where motherfuckers were hyping up Blake Griffin as the future face of the league. I ain't gonna lie, if y'all remember that. But I would still say, I'll give it a nod. Derrick Rose, obviously we know what happened to him, so it's kind of unfair. But I guess in the sake of this conversation, it's a womp womp. Greg Oden, womp womp. Andrea Bargnani, womp womp. Andrew Bogut, womp womp. Dwight, LeBron, yes. Yao Ming, he was still very impactful when he played, and he still got he got hella All-Star appearances. If you want to say womp womp on some Ben Simmons shit, go ahead. Kwame Brown, womp womp. Kenya Martin, look back at that draft. That draft was just ass. I ain't gonna lie. But nevertheless, not a lot of players can say that they had superstar potential going into the league. A lot of hype going into the league, and actually filled out that hype the way Anthony Davis has. And I would argue that in the last 20 years, relative to what they were supposed to be, the few number one overall picks that actually filled out that frame and became everything we expected them to be, as close as they could, would be LeBron. It would be Dwight. And after that, I'd probably go Anthony Davis. I would probably go Anthony Davis over everyone else, and then you might go to probably Kyrie right after that, and then Blake, and then D Rose. But yeah, man, I think not too much on AD, man. Not too much on AD.
And looking at his points, he said, quote, he's not money good. Are we gambling? I don't know what that means. Whatever that means. Second point, the most overrated star of all time. Okay, we'll get back to that. And his last
predictions, he's about to say LeBron. LeBron is actually the most overrated star of all time.
point, Anthony Davis being top 75 apparently pissed this guy off. The NBA's top 75 list, were there some snubs? Of course there were. Most notably, Dwight Howard and Kyrie Irving. And when debating this,
I'm not gonna lie, that top 75 list did not matter to me as soon as I found out they just kept the original 50 and just added 25 more names. I think if we're about to make an updated list in 2024 or 2023, whenever they made that list, make an updated revised list that accounts for evolution, that accounts for, hey, someone gotta get knocked off. And I think the NBA played it safe in terms of, hey, we don't want to disrespect these legends, this, that, and the third. But if you look at that top 75 and you look at the players who got snubbed, it is such a disservice to the players who got snubbed that we even have to have these conversations that they got snubbed. When in actuality, they really shouldn't have gotten snubbed if the list was just made correctly. The top 75 players of all time in 2023. Update that shit. Get rid of these legacy players that are in there that may even be dead. So literally, if you hurt their feelings, respectfully, you're not gonna do anything. Does that sound crazy? Oh my god, I feel like I feel like that's a fucked up thing to say, but not like, I don't know, man. I just, in terms of me, I don't take that shit seriously. I don't take that shit seriously, dog.
snub was for people who made it. Anthony Davis' name all the time was brought up as one of the players who didn't deserve to make it. But looking at Davis, I mean, top 75 should have been in it. One guy who questionably should have made it was Dame Lillard. But unfortunately for Dame, unlike AD, doesn't catch heat from the media for his resume not being up to snuff. If you're going to say Davis shouldn't have made the list, okay, fair, go ahead and say that, you're probably wrong. But in the same breath, a guy like Dame also shouldn't have made it. As looking at Davis' career up till 2022, an 8-time All-Star, 4-time All-NBA, 4-time All-Defensive, 3-time block champ, and 1-time NBA champion. I mean, Davis at age 21, he was first-team All-NBA, and took a Pelicans team in the post-CP3 era and made them semi-relevant. And of course in 2018, versus Dame's Blazers as the underdog, upset them and demolished them in embarrassing fashion. If you look at Dame's career up till 2022, I mean, 6-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. That's pretty much it. You want to talk deep playoff runs, iconic playoff runs? I mean, he has some big shots, but his deepest run was in 2019. And how did that end? Getting beat 4-0 by Golden State without Kevin Durant. And of course, in that series, Portland blew numerous 15-point leads virtually every game. The last series Dame Lillard won as an NBA player was in 2019 versus Denver in the second round. In that Game 7 to win the series,
Keep it on AD,
he shot 3 of 17 and was bailed out by CJ McCollum. And one more thing I do want to touch on, when it comes to the NBA media, commentators, the overall amnesia with Anthony Davis really is shocking. I mean, Reggie Miller TNT just tonight said LeBron James last year carried the Lakers to the Western Conference Finals.
Carried?
I mean, is Anthony Davis just invisible, Casper the Ghost? Is he not on the team, these people? Anthony Davis in the second round to beat Steph Curry, make the West Finals. was 22 points, 15.
Yeah, no, you can't say LeBron since he's become a Laker has had just these tremendous carry jobs. This ain't 2018, bro. This ain't 2018. This is not 2007. I would even argue that LeBron has actually had his most talented rosters from top to bottom these last two to 3 years. Honestly, ever since 2020. It's just LeBron hasn't been prime LeBron. But if prime LeBron was on those teams, boy, them teams probably would have won 60 games. But nah, if you look at even the team that he got this year, not to say that LeBron is playing on a super team. Is this team better than the Miami Heat team? If you just look at the supporting cast, because I think when we talk about which team is better, you have to take into account what stage LeBron is in his career in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Because looking at the 2013 Heat without acknowledging that 2013 Heat had LeBron at the apex of his powers, as opposed to, this year's LeBron. But just look at that supporting cast, bro. LeBron got a lot of help. I'm gonna lie, LeBron got a lot of help. And to specifically last year, just to dismiss that as LeBron carried them, I think that's absolutely insane. Let me go ahead and look at his playoff log last season. First of all, if we just look at his whole playoff run, is the 23 high enough for some people? Probably not. But for a 16-game sample size, number one, he played 38 minutes a game. Number two, he led the playoffs in rebounding, led the playoffs in blocks, and gave you 1.4 steals while still giving you 23 a game. I don't know how many players in NBA history can say they had a number two like that could produce at that level. And then if we look at just his game log, so we can go series by series. If we look at this Memphis series right here, yeah, against Memphis, 21-14, 4 blocks a game. What are we talking about? Game 1 had 7 blocks. The elimination game, he had 5 blocks, bro. Against Golden State, which he's about to bring up right now, 22-15, 2 blocks, 58% from the field. Against Denver, 27 points, 14 rebounds, 3 blocks. What are we talking about right now, dog?
15 boards, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals on nearly 60% shooting. Davis that series had an offensive rating of 123, the highest in the series. Defensive rating, 101.0, again, the best for the series and the best on the Lakers. And if you want to talk overall plus-minus on the court, Davis on the court, plus 3.5. LeBron James, minus 0.5.
Oh, wow.
Clutch Sports, the media, whatever you want to call it, them downplaying LeBron's teammates, just flat out ignoring them, just gets so old and tiring. The biggest critique of Anthony Davis in the past, he wasn't healthy, made of glass, and very injury prone. This year, played 75 plus games, averaged 25 points per game, was a menace on defense, and minus LeBron James led LA to numerous victories. If this guy isn't third team All-NBA at the worst, the Lamedia's fix has to be in. So that right there.
Now I gotta look up Kendrick Perkins' All-NBA ballot now, bro. Kendrick Perkins All-NBA ballot. I gotta look this up now, bro. Hold on. I gotta look this up. Cause this is ASA 9, ASA 10, ASA 11. All right, let me turn off ad blocker real quick. Refresh, boom. What? Oh, we got Jalen Brunson? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Hold on. Okay, Kendrick Perkins. Just submitted my first team All-NBA, and here's what it looks like. Jokic, Tatum, Brunson, Doncic, SGA. Wow. Oh, wow. And then his second team which I don't know if he posted here, is again going back to Uncut Who's video. Oh my God. His second team is KD, Giannis, Anthony Edwards, LeBron, Tyrese Maxey. That is laughably bad. That is actually laughably bad. And I hate how the discussions around Jalen Brunson this season have made, because this is the problem with discourse, y'all. It always starts with someone trying to gas someone up to heights, to levels that they shouldn't have been gassed up in the first place. And now, as Newton's second law, I think, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So when you gas someone up to a level they were not supposed to be at, you got to bring that ass down. Okay? Wait, hold on now. He's not this, that, and the third because this player is this, that, and the third. So when it comes to this discussion, when I bring up Giannis I'm sorry, Jalen Brunson just isn't 30, 13, and 6 the way Giannis is playing with you know what I'm saying, elite defensive capabilities. Now it look like I'm hating on Brunson, but that's just the reality of the situation. Same thing with Anthony Davis. Same thing with, honestly, Kevin Durant. But nah, and honestly, to be consistent with it, just so y'all think I'm not a homer, I think Jason Tatum, as impactful as he's been to the best record in the league, I think you can make a legitimate case that, KD's had a better season than him still. AD's had a better season than him still. Giannis has had a better season than him still, even though he's been the best player on a 64-win team. Like, it's actually insane. But nevertheless, shout out to Uncup Who's for the video. Congratulations on 100K, by the way. That's big time. Go get that plaque. But with that being said, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.